Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start jumping right into the first unit test. Make sure that you guys are using the test correction forms on the questions that you miss on the test. Now if you don't have to watch this whole entire video, I'm just going to go ahead and from the start to from the beginning to the end, and then kind of fast forward through the questions that you need help with. Okay, so question 1, which equation best fits this graph? So here, before I even look at the multiple choice, I know that I have a linear function. I know that these 2 points, I hope that you understand that by now, those are my y-intercept, my x-intercept. Okay, so my x-intercept right here is 6, 0. The x-intercept is when y is 0. The y-intercept is when x is 0. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. So I know those 2 points. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and find the slope between those 2 points and then put it into slope-intercept form and then rearrange it until it fits. But if I have these points, I can actually just test it out. So check it out. So let's do this one. A. If I just did 6, 0. Okay, so let's just do 6, 0. I'm going to put 0 in for y, and that's going to be negative 12. Okay, because 0 times 2 is 0, minus 12 is negative 12. I put in 6 for 3. 6 times 3 is 18. That does not fit. Let's try another one. This one right here. I put in 0 for y, so 3 times 0 minus 12 is equal to 2 times 6. 3 times 0 is 0, minus 12 is negative 12 is equal to 2 times 6 is 12. Pretty darn close, but they're opposite, so nope, doesn't fit. Go to this one. Again, 2, put in 0 for y, plus 12 is equal to 3 times 6. And right away, you guys can tell that that's 12 is equal to 18. Doesn't fit either. Last one. I put in 3 times 0 plus 12 is equal to 2 times 6. Now, there was some confusion in class, and I saw that you guys wanted to test both the x-intercept and the y-intercept all at once. No, just take 1 point and test your function out. So here we have 3 times 0 is 0 plus 12 is equal to 12. There it is. And if you want to be doubly safe, you might as well check out with the second one. Okay, this is when x is 0, so I'm just going to test this over here. Okay, 3y plus 12 is equal to 2x. X is 0, so go ahead and put in 0 right there. Okay, and y is negative 4. So 3 times negative 4 plus 12 is equal to 2 times 0. Here we have 3 times negative 4, negative 12 plus 12 is equal to 0. And that is for sure check. So both the x-intercept and the y-intercept work only for D. And there is that one. Okay. Number 2. Which graph matches the equation 2x plus 6y is equal to 24? Again, this is standard form. This is ax plus by is equal to 24. If you wanted to, we can just find one of the intercepts and figure it out from there. All of these have a y-intercept that I can see. Okay. If you're not really sure and you're comfortable with changing the slope-intercept form, you can definitely do that. If you wanted to solve for y, I'll do the slope-intercept form first. Here's y. First thing that happens to y gets multiplied by 6, increased by 2x. So the first thing I do to both sides is minus 2x and then divide by 6. Okay, so subtract 2x, and I get 6y is equal to 24 minus 2x. Next, I'm going to, like my step said, divide by 6. Just undoing it. Divide that side by 6. Divide that whole side by 6. That's gone. Y, 24 divided by 6 is positive 4. Negative 2x over 6 is negative 1/3 x. So I have a y-intercept of 4 and a slope of negative 1/3 x. And right here, y-intercept of 4 and a slope of down 1 over to the right 3, and that's my slope of negative 1/3. So B is the right answer. Okay. And then you can check using the y-intercept. And yes, I see that this one looks pretty darn close because both have the same y-intercept. But this one has an x-intercept that is clearly visible. This one doesn't. So if you're going to choose this one because this 0, 4 works, which a lot of you did, you might as well test this one. And if you did, you would have realized it doesn't work. Only B work. The x-intercept of this one is going to be somewhere over here. Okay. So I just changed the slope-intercept form, and I got y is equal to 4 minus 1/3 x. Okay, number 3. Which inequality is best represented by the following number line? All right, let's talk about multiple choice. Okay, this is an inequality, open circle. So we have that is going to be open, that's going to be closed. Okay, so because this is open circle, those are gone. And then next, I'm going to do it the long way. I'm just going to solve one of these because they're identical except for this sign. So I'm going to do A, negative 3x plus 10 is less than 22. You can build it if you want. Okay, here's x multiplied by negative 3 plus 10. So the first thing I do to both sides minus 10 and divide by negative 3. Sorry, drop that negative sign right there. So then subtract 10. I get negative 3x is less than 12. I divide both sides by negative 3. And the mirror rule says that when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. So x is greater than negative 4. And here's negative 4. 0 is definitely greater than negative 4. 5 is definitely greater, so the only choice is that. Now, if you're not too sure which one it is, I'm going to go ahead and write down both. And I'm going to test one of them. Let's just test this one. X is less than negative 4, so let's do negative 5. Okay? You guys can already tell negative 5 is not part of my solution set because it's all the numbers underneath this line. But if you forgot about the number line, just do negative 5. Negative 5 is definitely less than negative 4. I'm going to put negative 5 back into the problem that was given to me. Plus 10 is, what was it? Greater than 22. I'm testing B. Okay, I'm testing C. Now we can test A. Let's see if it works. We have 15. Negative 3 times negative 5 is 15. Plus 10 is less than 22. And right away, that's 25 is less than 22. That does not work. So right away, I know that this one says that negative 5 is not part of my solution. So the only one that would work would be A. Okay. Now if you tested it and you test negative 5 for this one, it would work. You're right. Negative 5 would work for this one. But again, negative 5 is not part of my solution set. It's just whatever's underneath the arrow. The fastest way is actually just to pick a number off the number line and put it into each of these and then see which one is a true statement. And it's A. Okay, that's the first page. This one, same thing. First thing I'm going to do is look at my inequality sign. Less than sign, open circle. So last two choices are gone. And then I'm just going to test 0 is part of my solution set. All the numbers right here underneath the arrow are the solution set. Underneath the arrows are here are the solution set. You can actually test it or you can solve it. Okay, but I also know that there's a negative coefficient right here that I'm multiplying something. So later on I'm going to divide by a negative. So my inequality symbol is going to eventually flip. It has to because I'm going to divide. So I'll do it the long way, and then if you guys want to, you guys can test it at home. So the long way, algebraically, will be, first thing I'm going to do is distribute this. You don't have to. You can divide the whole thing by negative 4, but I don't really want to deal with negative 9/4 right now. So I get negative 4x plus 8 plus 5 is less than 9. Combine like terms there, and I get negative 4x plus 13 is less than 9. Subtract 13 from both sides. And I get negative 4x is less than, okay, and then 9 minus 13 is going to be negative 4. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. And I'm going to cross that out. X is greater than 1. Okay, because I divide by a negative, I have to flip that inequality symbol. So x is greater than 1. There it is right there. So the correct answer is going to be A. And make sure you test it out. 0 is part of this. Put 0 in and it won't work. Only this one would work. Okay, number 5. Number 5 says if you solve the equation ax plus by divided by c is equal to d for x, what would you get? So this one is one of those literal equations where you make x the subject of your equation. Luckily, it's already done for us. So for this one, I'm just going to build it. I'm solving for x, so here's x. First thing that happens to it, multiplied by a, increased by b plus y, and then it gets divided by c, and then I get d. So the first thing I do to both sides is multiply by c, subtract by, and then divide by a. If you would have followed this set of rules, you'd have figured out that the last thing I did was divide by a. Those don't work. Now I'm down to these two. I also know that the first thing I do is multiply d by c, right? So I got to multiply both sides by c. So I get dc, positive dc. Okay, positive DC or positive CD, same thing. Okay, general rules you have it goes in alphabetical order. After I do that, I subtract by or negative by. So the only possible combination with multiply C with D or D with C and a negative by is that one. Okay, and then this one. For this question, you're just dealing with Willow. Willow is driving on the freeway. She just passed mile marker 325. The fastest she will drive is 75 miles per hour. Though there's a bit of traffic that might slow her down a bit, but she doesn't know exactly how much. The mile markers are increasing on her route. This is the fastest she will drive. The fastest she will drive is 75 miles, but there'll be times when she slows down. So she's not going to go above 75, but she may go below 75 sometimes. So if Willow's speed is represented by the y, then it has to be this one. Because this one says that 75 is my maximum. It can be 75, but at times she'll slow down. Just think about being in traffic. The traffic's or the speed limit's 60. Your parents are going 60 miles an hour, but sometimes they'll go below it because of traffic. It's this one. The maximum is 75. Number 7, the expression 325 plus 2y. So I'm assuming this y deals with Willow's speed at 75 miles an hour. So, if she drives 75 miles per hour, in 1 hour she goes 75. In 2 hours she goes 150 miles. So the expression 325 plus 2y represents what mile marker she'll be at after 2 hours, depending on traffic. Which inequality describes the mile marker she will be at this point? Okay, so if we're dealing with where she could be, if she's traveling constantly at 75, then she'll be at a specific point. But sometimes she'll be slowing down, so she's not there yet. She might, but she's not going to go above 75. So it has to be one of these, because this is going to be, it has to be equal to, because it deals with this situation. So A and B doesn't matter in this case. But if she goes 75 miles an hour and she goes for about 2 hours, that's 150 miles, 150 plus 325. So the most she can be at is 475 and no less. So it's got to be that one, because she's only been driving for 75 miles for 2 hours. Sometimes she goes below 75. She doesn't go above it. So that one would be more logical. Okay. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Now we're doing some free responses. I'm going to show you the way that I saw some students do it, and they kind of messed this one because they left off a couple things. I have two groups of x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 4x plus 4. Yes, a lot of you did something like this and got 2x plus 10, and there's my mistake right there. Some of you wrote plus 5, so it should be 10. is greater than or equal to 4x plus 4. Okay, subtract both 4 from both sides if you want. I'm going up here. So right now I have 2x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 4x. Subtract 2x from both sides. Here I have positive 6 is greater than or equal to 2x. I'm dividing both sides by 2. X is less than or equal to 3, or 3 is greater than or equal to x. It doesn't matter which side the x is on, just make sure that you always carry the inequality symbol. In this case, the alligator is eating the 3, so make sure it's always opening towards the 3. Some of you actually wrote this and changed it to something like this. Oops. Because you want your inequality symbol to be pointing the same way. Be careful. That has nothing to do with this. The inequality symbol doesn't matter where it points. What matters is where it's opening up. So if it's opening up after you did all this fancy work and it's opening towards the 3, then it better be opening up towards the 3 when you flip the variable on the left side. Okay. So to graph this, that'd be closed circle, 1, 2, 3, less than, so it goes something like that. And if you want, you can test it and put 0 in, because 0 is part of my solution in here, and this side should be definitely greater than this side. Okay, I'm going to show you how some other students did it that was pretty close but messed up a little bit. Figure that you can divide that by 2. Property of equality says that if I divide something by 2, I better do the other side. Some students did that, but they only did it to one term. You need to do it to everything on that same side. So when you do this, you get x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then from here, you solve it, you should get x is less than or equal to 3, or 3 is greater than or equal to x. Either of these would work. They're all the same. Okay. And then this one, write an inequality. Okay, a lot of you just gave me the solution. I just want the setup. Okay, so this one's an easy point to get back. You're starting a lawnmower. It costs $500. You already have $150. You want to buy an Xbox One that costs $500. You want to save. You make $9.50 per hour. Write an inequality showing this situation. And you want to make more than $500 because of all the accessory that goes with it. So $500. That's the base price. I need to make more than that. So I'm going to set it up like that. I know that I make $9.50 an hour plus the $150 I already saved. That's it. If you want to, you can put the money there, the dollar sign there. Okay. This one, write an inequality representing this number line. That's going to be either one of these. But since it's going that way, then I'm going to, most of you want the variable on the left side, all numbers greater than -6, so it's got to look like that. Some of you we can also definitely do something like this. That would work too. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. It says write the equation represented by this graph. Okay. The easiest probably one would be slope-intercept form. If you wanted to, you guys can definitely do the standard form. So right there, that's the first thing I'm going to look for, and that's going to be 0, 2, and that's my y-intercept. Next, I'm going to find my slope, given any points that I know for sure. That is something I know for sure. And then that is something I know for sure. So I go down 1, so that's -1. Change in y over the change in x. So going down 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my slope. So put it all together. Y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to -1/5 x plus 2. And there is my slope-intercept form. Okay. All right, last one. This is standard form, changing the slope-intercept form. So that means I'm going to solve for y is equal to mx plus b, and then I'm going to graph it. So I'm solving for y. Say y is the subject of this one. So here's y. First thing that happens is multiply by 12. After that, it gets increased by 2x. So the first thing I do to both sides, let me write it down here. 12y plus 2x is equal to 24. First thing I do to both sides, subtract 2x, then divide by 12. And then just run it bottom up. So subtract 2x to both sides. This goes away. Drop everything down that did not get canceled out, and I get 12y is equal to 24 minus 2x. Careful, you don't take 2x away from 24. You can't do that because they're different terms. Next, divide both sides by 12. Okay, so if I divide both sides by 12, it looks something like this. So then I get y is equal to 24 divided by 12, 2. Negative 2x divided by 12 is negative 2x 12. We can definitely reduce that down to y is equal to 2 minus 1, 6x. Now there's something I want to quickly tell you guys. Negative 1, 6, it doesn't matter which one's negative, one of them is negative. If you feel more comfortable with that, go with something like this. 2 plus 1, negative 1, 6x. That always works. That works the same way. There's my y-intercept and there's my slope. Okay, so this one's actually kind of pretty close to the previous question. Here's my y-intercept at 2. Go down 1 to the right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I want to go the other way and go up 1 and then to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to the left 6, right? That would, if I go up 1, that's plus 1, and then going to the left 6, that's still negative 6. That's still the same thing as negative 1, 6. So my slope-intercept formula is y is equal to 2 minus 1, 6x. And there's my line right there. Okay? Yours would probably be much straighter than mine. Okay, so that's it. Make sure you guys do your test corrections and then turn it into the basket, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.